Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I will be making a Mexican casserole. So hang out to see what I'm going to be putting in that. All right, I'm going to start this recipe with a pound of grass-fed beef. It's got a good sizzle going on now, and I'll show you what I'm going to put in next. All right, the meat is almost done, so I'm going to put in 1 onion, which in my case is 2 green onions, because that's what I grew in the garden this year that I had chopped up already in the freezer. And 2 cloves of garlic, which I already have chopped up. I grew those too. Just need to get a little bit more of this out of here. And then I'm just going to let the garlic and onion get cooked, and then I'll add the next part of the ingredients. Okay, what's next? We're going to do a can of generic Rotel, and I'm actually adding the juice in there for that. And I'm doing 1 can of whole sweet corn. I did drain the juice out of that one. And 1 can of cream corn with the juice for the recipe. And I did measure out the 3 tablespoons of taco seasoning, homemade, because I made this myself, onion powder, and salt. So that is ready to go. And I'm just going to put a little bit of pepper in there, and then I'm just going to let this simmer until the next ingredient. Okay, now we're ready for a stir. All right, I'm just going to give this a really good stir, and I'm just going to let it simmer. I'll probably go ahead and turn my oven on to 400 degrees because that'll be the next, well, not the next step, but the step after that. So I'm going to just get this fully stirred, and I'll be back. All right, so now to make the cornbread, I just grabbed a couple of boxes of Jiffy because that's what this recipe called for. I usually would probably use the Martha White, but to keep it, you know, authentic, I'm going to do this. Now, I could make my own cornbread, of course. I have cornmeal, but I didn't know how to, you know, convert everything to where the recipe would be right. So anyway, 2 packages of cornbread, which means 2 eggs, and 2/3 cup of milk. And I'm just going to get this mixed up. So I am starting back with my cooking in August, kind of starting my fall season a little bit early. My gardening is kind of starting to die off. I have a few things outside right now. I have some bell peppers, some tomatillas, some watermelon, and some shishito peppers, and some cantaloupe, and a few flowers, and some herbs. All right, that looks pretty smooth to me. Let me get this cleaned up, and I'll be back for the next step. All right, at this point, you're going to use a 9x13 baking dish. I've already sprayed this, and I'm just going to add this mixture that I cooked on the top of the stove in. It's nice and cheesy. I think this would be really good with bell peppers, maybe green chilies. I wanted to kind of leave the recipe authentic, and then after that decide what, you know, how you might convert it, maybe make it better. You could probably do this with chicken or turkey, or you could even do this vegetarian. You know, just add more vegetables. Put your cornbread on top. I think that would be really good. Still more. Hubby's definitely going to have leftovers on this one because I usually don't cook a pound of beef at dinner. I usually cook a half a pound. So we have a 1/4 pound each, which is basically 5-ounce portion of meat. All right. So that's all of that. And the next step will be to add the cornbread. Just going to kind of spread it out, and I'm sure it will kind of, and I can get a spatula if I think I need one. I'm just going to kind of spread it, and then I may come back and spread a little bit more. But I think this is going to be really good. I'm really excited about it. It sounds very good. So this will be posted in August. Don't know exactly what, I think in September and October, I think I'm going to do soup recipes. Don't know about November yet, and then December will be all about the holiday recipes. I usually try to do at least one dip, you know, one cookie, and maybe one kind of like a holiday drink. I'm getting a little bit messy over here, but I'll clean up my pan before I put it in the oven. Because if you don't, it'll be baked on, caked on, and you will have a time getting it off after that. So I'll probably go ahead and clean out the sides of my pan before I put it in the oven. Make for easier cleanup. I don't think I'm going to need a spatula. There's enough of this cornbread that it's going to cover. It's going to cover it really well without any additional smoothing. I think it's going to be good. I already have the oven. You know what? I did not find a time on the recipe that I found, but I'll go back and find the time for how long this needs to cook, and I will add that in the description box. Also the seasonings. I did shake the pepper on, but you can. It was actually a teaspoon. And it's 1 packet of taco seasoning, but I did 3 tablespoons of taco seasoning since I had my own. Try to make sure I get all the yummy goodness out of there. Sounds like a really good recipe. I've never tried anything remotely like it, but I think it's going to be really good. So let me go put this in the oven, and I'll come back and show you how pretty it looks. Here's what it looks like, guys. And I forgot to tell you, after the cornbread is done, you just cook it the amount of time that the cornbread package says, which I put it on 20 minutes. And then after it's done, put the remaining cheese on top and let it melt. So it is ready to go and ready to be served up. Have a great day. Be blessed. Do something kind, guys.